Might just play Warcraft next. Come on. Stop streaming. Stop recording. Neither. I want to enjoy. Mm. Oh, it's stop. Okay, I'm already streaming. Alright, let's go.
The idea is that this is all taking place without them having any foothold whatsoever in America. There's no carriers that have their phones. You have to buy their phones unlocked through some sort of a third party, and then put.
Okay.
So, and the worry is, that these are somehow or another controlled by the Chinese government. The communist Chinese government is going to distribute these phones, and I don't know if it's the worry is economic influence, that they'll have too much power. I don't know what it is. Are you paying attention to any of this?
Not really.
No?
I don't think we should worry too much about Huawei phones. Maybe our national security agencies shouldn't have Huawei phones. Maybe that's a question mark. But I think for the average citizen, it doesn't matter. They're not. I'm pretty sure the Chinese government does not care about the goings on of the average American citizen.
Is there a time where you think that there will be no security, where it will be impossible to hold back information, that whatever bottleneck we'll let go, we're gonna give in, that whatever bottleneck between privacy and ultimate innovation will have to be bridged in order for us to achieve the next level of technological proficiency, that we're just going to abandon it, and there'll be no security, no privacy.
Do people want privacy? Because they seem to put everything on the internet.
Well, right now they're confused. But when you're talking about your Neuralink and this idea that one day we are going to be able to share information and we're going to be some sort of a thing that's symbiotically connected.
Yeah, I think we really need to worry about security in that situation.
And when,
for sure, that's like a security will be paramount.
Sure.
Yeah.
But also, what we will be is we'll be so much different. Our concerns about money, about status, about all these things will seemingly go by the wayside if we really become enlightened. If we really become artificially enlightened by some sort of an AI interface where we have this symbiotic relationship with some new internet type connection to information. What happens then? What is important and what is not important? Is privacy important when we're all gods?
I mean, I think the things that we think are important to keep private right now,
right,
we probably will not think are important.
Shame, right? Information, right? What are you hiding? Emotions? Yeah. What are we hiding?
I mean, I think I don't know, maybe it's like embarrassing stuff.
Right, embarrassing stuff.
But there's actually, I think there's not that much that's kept private that is actually relevant.
Right.
That other people would actually care about. I mean, you think other people care about it, but they don't really care about it, and certainly governments don't.
Well, some people care about it, but then it gets weird when it gets exposed. Like Jennifer Lawrence, when those naked pictures of her got exposed. Like, I think in some ways people liked her more. They realized, like, oh, she's just a person, just a girl who likes sex and is just alive and has a boyfriend and sends them messages, and now you get to look into it, and you probably shouldn't have, but somebody let it go, and they put it online, and all right.
She seems to be doing okay.
She's a person. She's just you and me, and it's the same thing. She's just in some weird place where she's on a 35-foot tall screen with music playing every time she talks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's like not happy about it, but she's clearly doing fine.
But once this interface is fully realized, where we really do become something far more powerful in terms of our cognitive ability, our ability to understand irrational thoughts and mitigate them, and that we're all connected in some sort of an insane way. What are our thoughts on wealth? Our thoughts on social status? Like, how many of those just evaporate? And our need for privacy. Maybe our need for privacy will be the ultimate bottleneck that we'll have to surpass.
I think the things that we think are important now will probably not be important in the future. but there will be things that are important.
What
They
would
just
be
are
more
different
important?
things. I don't know, there might be some war of ideas, potentially. I don't think Darwin's going away.
Right.
Darwin's going to be there.
Always.
Darwin will be there forever.
Forever. Yeah.
It would just be a different arena. Different arena.
A digital arena.
Different arena. Darwin's not going away.
What keeps you up at night?
Well, it's quite hard to run companies,
Yeah.
especially car companies, I have to say. It's quite challenging.
The car business is the hardest one of all the things you do
Yes.
because it's a consumer-oriented business as opposed to like SpaceX and
Not that SpaceX is no walk in the park, but a car company, it's very difficult to keep a car company alive. It's very difficult. You know, there's only 2 car companies in the history of American car companies that haven't gone bankrupt, and that's Ford and Tesla. That's it.
yeah, Ford rode out that crazy storm, huh? They're the only ones.
By the skin of their teeth.
Shout out to the Mustang.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the skin of their teeth. That is interesting, right?
Same with Tesla. We barely survived.
How close did you get to folding?
Very close. We, 2008 is not a good time to be a car company, especially a startup car company, and especially an electric car company. That was like stupidity squared.
And this is when you had those cool roadsters with the T-top,
Yeah.
with the target top.
Yeah. We had like, used a highly modified Elise chassis. The body was all completely different. By the way, that was a super dumb strategy that we actually did.
Why was it dumb?
It was based on 2 false premises. One false premise was that we'd be able to cheaply convert the Lotus Elise and use that as a car platform, and that we would be able to use technology from this little company called AC Propulsion for the electric drivetrain and the battery. Problem is, the AC Propulsion technology did not work in production, and we ended up using none of it in the long term. None of it. We had to redesign everything. And then once you add a battery pack and an electric motor to the car, it got heavier. It got 30% heavier. Invalidated the entire structure, all the crash structure. Everything had to be redone. Nothing. I think it had less than 7% of the parts were common with any other device, including cars or anything.
Less than 7%?
Yes.
Everything, including tires and wheels, bolts, brakes,
Yeah, even
steering wheel, seats.
the steering wheel was, I think the steering wheel was almost the same. Yes, the windscreen, windscreen.
Different.
No, I think the windscreen was the same.
Same.
Yes, I think we were able to keep the
Less
windscreen.
than 7%. So that's basically
Every body panel was different. The entire structure was different. We couldn't use the HVAC system. The air conditioner was a belt-driven air conditioner. So now we
right.
needed something that was electrically driven.
Which-
We needed a new AC compressor.
And all that takes away from the battery life as well, right?
Yeah, we needed a small, highly efficient air conditioning system that fit in a tiny car and was electrically powered, not belt-driven. It was very difficult.
How much did those weigh? Those cars, the Roadster.
I think it was about 2,700 pounds.
That's still very light.
Depending on which version, 2,650 to 2,750 pounds, something like that.
And what was the weight distribution?
It was about 50. Well, there were different versions of the car. So it was about 55 on the rear. Because it was
That's not bad.
rear bias.
Right, but not bad. Like considering like a 911, which is like one of the most popular sports cars of all time, heavy rear end bias.
Well, I mean,
You were going down
yeah,
different
the 911. I think the joke is like they managed to do it despite Newton not being on their side.
Yeah.
If you're fighting Newton, it's very difficult.
Well,
It's like you've got this. The moments of inertia on a 911 don't make any sense.
they do once you understand them. Once you understand,
you don't want to
how-
hang the engine off the
Right.
ass. That is not a wise move.
You don't want to let up on the gas when you're in a corner.
The problem with with something that's where the engine is mounted over the rear axle or off the rear axle towards the rear is that your polar moment of inertia is fundamentally screwed. You cannot solve this. It's unsolvable. You're screwed.
Right.
Polar
Right.
moment of inertia is you're screwed.
Right.
Like essentially, if you spun the car like a top, that's your polar moment of inertia. You're just. I promised I wouldn't swear on this show, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
To who?
So it's my friend.
Tell that friend to go fuck himself. Who told you not to swear?
A friend.
That's not a good friend.
Yes.
That
Only I
friend
would
needs
swear.
to realize you're fucking Elon Musk. You can do whatever you want, man. If you ever get confused, call me.
I'll swear in private. Swear
Okay.
up a storm.
Just say frickin'. It's a fun way. There's like old house moms. Wives and shit that have children. Oh, this frickin' thing.
Yeah. But anyway, like the Porsche, it's
Okay.
kind of incredible how well Porsche handles, given that it's the physics,
Yes.
the moments of inertia are so messed up. To actually still make it work well is incredible.
Well, if you know how to turn into the corner, once you get used to the feeling of it, there's actual benefits to it. You know, there are some benefits.
I enjoy the car I had before Tesla was a 911.
Oh, okay.
That was
997 or 6?
yeah,
997.
yeah.
Yeah. Great car, man.
Yeah, I mean, particularly on the Porsche Turbo when they had the variable vanes, the turbo, and you didn't have the turbo lag, that was great.
Yeah.
That was really great. The turbo lag is like, if you floor it, like phone home, call your
Right.
mom.
The older ones,
Like,
right?
about an hour later, the
Yeah.
car accelerates.
And super dangerous, too, because then the real wheels start spinning. And,
Yeah.
yeah. There's something fun about it, though, like feeling that rear weight kicking around. You know, and again,
No,
it's
it's
not
great.
efficient.
It had a good feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's what I was talking about earlier about that little car that I have, the 93 911. It's just it's not fast. It's not the best handling car, but it's more satisfying than any other car I have because it's so mechanical. It's like everything about it like crackles and bumps, and it gives you all this feedback. And I take it to the Comedy Store because when I get there, I feel like my brain is just popping and it's on fire. It's like a strategy for me now that I really stopped driving other cars there. I drive that car there just for the brain juice, just for the interaction.
I mean, you should try Model S P100D.
I'll try
It'll blow
it.
your mind out of
Okay.
your skull.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me what to order. I'll order it.
Model S P100D.
Okay. Jamie,
That's
write it down.
that's the car that I drive.
Okay. Okay, I'll get with the car you drive. Okay.
It will blow your mind
How
out of
far
your
can
skull.
I drive? I believe you. How
Yeah.
far can I drive? How far
About
can
300
I go?
miles.
That's good. For LA regular days. That's
You'll
good.
never notice the battery.
Never.
Never.
How hard is it to get like one of them crazy plugs installed in your house? That difficult?
No, it's super easy. It's like
Didn't
it's
you-
like a dryer plug. It's like a dryer outlet.
Didn't
know?
you come up with some crazy tiles for your roof that are solar paneled?
Yeah. I have it on my roof right now. Actually, I'm just trying it out. It's like the thing. It takes a while to like test roof stuff because roofs have to last a long time.
Right.
So like you want your roof to last like at
Could
least
you
30
put it
years. and-
over a regular roof?
Now, so there's two versions. There's like the solar panels you put on a roof. So like depends on whether your roof's new or old. So if your roof's new, you don't want to replace the roof. You want to put like solar panels on the roof.
Right.
So that's like retrofit, And then we're trying to make the retrofit panels look real nice. But then the new product we're coming out with is if you have a roof that's either you're building a house or you're going to replace your roof anyway, then you make the tiles have solar cells embedded in the tiles, and then it's quite a tricky thing because you want to not see the solar cell behind the glass tile, so you have to really work with the glass and the various coatings and layers so that you don't see the solar cell behind the glass. Otherwise, it doesn't look right.
Right.
So it's really tricky.
There it is. Jamie put it up there.
Yeah.
Damn, that looks good.
See,
Is there a more...
see, like if you look closely, you can see if you zoom in, like you can see the cell.
Mm-hmm.
But if you zoom out, you don't see the cell.
Right. Well, it looks cool,
See?
though.
Like
yeah.
that's hard.
Invisible solar
That's really
cells.
hard because you have to have sunlight go through.
Right.
But when it gets reflected back out, it doesn't. It hides the fact that there's a cell there.
Now, are those available to the consumer right now?
Well, we have I think about
Those on that roof right there?
Yes.
That's amazing. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
That one's smart.
Oh, so you get that kind of fake Spanish-looking thing. I like
That's
that.
French slate.
That's white people in Connecticut smoking pipes. Look at that one.
Yeah.
That's badass, dude. So
Those
now,
will actually work.
I believe you. So the solar panels that are on that house that we just looked at, is that sufficient to power the entire home?
It depends on your energy, on how
Expenditure?
efficient. Yeah. So, generally, yes. I would say it's probably for most. It's going to vary, but anywhere from more than you need to maybe half. Like call it half to 1.5 of the energy that you need, depending on how much roof you have relative to living space.
And how ridiculous you are with the TV.
TV is no problem. Air
Blenders?
conditioning is the problem. If you have an efficient air conditioner, and you don't, and depending on how, like, are you air conditioning rooms when they don't need to be air conditioned, which is very common because it's a pain in the neck. You know, it's like programming a VCR. It's like, you know, it's just a blinking 12. So people just like, the hell with that. I'm just going to make it this temperature all day long.
Right. They don't have a smart home where if you're in the room, then it stays cool. Right.
Yeah. It should predict when you're going to be home and then cool the rooms that you're likely to use with a little bit of intelligence. We're not talking about like genius home here. We're just talking like elementary, basic stuff.
Right.
You know, like if you could hook that into the car, like it knows you're coming home. Like there's no point in cooling the home, keeping the home really cool when you're not there. Right. But it can tell that you're coming home. It's going to cool it to the right temperature right when you get there. Do you have an app
that works with your solar panels or anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. But we need to hook it into the air conditioning to really make the air conditioning work.
Have you thought about creating an air conditioning system? I know you have. Trick question.
Cannot answer questions about future potential products.
Okay, let's just let it go. We'll move on to the next thing.
But that would be an interesting idea.
Yeah, I would say. Radiant heating, all that. Good ideas. Now, when you think about the efficiency of these homes and you think about implementing solar power and battery power, and is there anything else that people are missing? Is there any other, like, I just saw a smartwatch that is powered by the heat of the human body. It's some new technology. It's
able to fully power that way?
I don't know if it's fully or if it's like this watch right here. This is a Casio.
Okay.
It's called a ProTech, and it's like an outdoors watch, and it's solar powered.
Okay.
And so it has the ability to operate for a certain amount of time on solar.
Yeah.
So if you have it exposed, it could function for a certain amount of time on solar.
Yeah. Well, you know, like there's the self-winding watches where you know it's just got a weight in the watch, and as you move your wrist, the weight moves from one side to the other, and it winds the watch up. That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing that like Rolex is that it's all done mechanically. There's no batteries in there. There's no nothing. Yeah,
you could do the same thing, create a little charger that's based on wrist movement. It really depends on how much energy your watch uses.
You know what's fucked up about that though? We accept a certain amount of like fuckery with those watches. Like I brought my watch. I have a Rolex that my friend Lorenzo gave me, and I brought it to the watch store, and I said, "This thing's always fast." I said, "It's always like after a couple months, it's like 5 minutes fast." And they go, "Yep." They go, "Yeah,
really?
It's just what it does."
Okay.
And I go, "Hold on." I go, "So you're telling me that it just is always going to be fast?" They're like, "Yeah, it's just like every few months you got to like reset it."
It seems like they should recalibrate that thing.
They can't. They tried. They say every few months, whether it's 4 months or 5 months or 6 months, it's going to be a couple minutes fast.
Okay, it seems like they should really recalibrate that, because if it's always fast, you can just delete those minutes.
You need to fucking kick down the door at Rolex and go, "You bitches are lazy."
It's kind of amazing that you can keep time mechanically on a wristwatch with these tiny little gears.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole luxury watch market is fascinating. I'm not that involved in terms, like I don't buy them. I've bought them as gifts, so I don't buy them for myself. But when I look at them online, like, there's $1 million watches out there now that are like, they have like little rotating moons and stars, and they live like, look at this thing. How much is that one, Jamie?
I don't know. I just picked one.
These are fucking preposterous.
I like gears.
I
Those
love them. I
Yeah,
love them.
I think they're beautiful.
But there's some of these people that are just taking it right in the ass. They're buying these watches for like $750,000. I'm like, yo, that's a Timex, son. Nobody knows. It's not any better than some Casio that you could just buy online. Like, look at that, though. Well, here's the thing. If you're a person that doesn't just want to know the time, you want craftsmanship, you want some artisan's touch, you want innovation in terms of like a person figuring out how gears and cogs all line up perfectly to every time it turns over, it's basically a second. I mean, that's just, there's art to that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's not just telling time. I like this watch a lot, but if it got hit by a rock, I wouldn't be sad.
Yeah.
It's just a watch. It's a mass-produced thing that runs on some quartz battery. But those things, there's art to that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. There's something amazing about it. Because it represents the human creativity. It's not just electronic innovation. There's a person's work in that.
Yes.
But you don't have a watch on.
No.
Ever?
I used to have a watch.
What happened?
My phone tells the time. So
Good point. What if you lose your phone? Wait, hold on.
True.
Let me guess. You are a no-case guy.
That's correct.
Ooh.
Living on the edge. Living on the edge without a case.
Neil deGrasse Tyson was in here last week. I marveled at his ability to get through life without a case.
That's right.
You know, he takes his phone and he flips it in between his fingers like a soldier would do with his rifle.
Really?
He just rolls that shit in between his fingers. Yeah,
Okay.
marvelous.
Wow.
He says that's the reason why they do it. He said, when you look at someone who has a rifle, why would they do that? Why would they flip it around like that?
Right.
So that when it goes to drop, they have it in their hand. They catch it quickly. So that's what he does with his phone. He's just flipping his phone around all the time. I got that in Mexico. I was hoping it holds joints.
Does it do anything? It seems to open.
No, it's just
As a whole.
just a hole.
You could store
Yeah.
things in there.
But like, try to put a joint in there, close it. You could put like one blunt. One. But it seems pretentious, you know? That's the idea behind it. I bought it when I was in Mexico because I figured it would be a good size to hold joints. Or not.
Smoking joint. Awesome.
So is that a joint?
It's not a goat's freaking brain.
Or is it a
blunt.
cigar?
No,
Okay.
it's marijuana
it's
inside
weed.
of tobacco.
Oh, okay. So it's like pot tobacco
Yeah.
pods.
You never had that?
Yeah, I think I tried one once.
Come on, man. You want some of it? You probably can't because of stockholders, right?
Yeah, I should have went to the.
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Okay.
How does that work? Do people get upset at you if you do certain things?
Spitting out.
There's tobacco and marijuana in there. That's all it is.
We're on a dimensional battle. 100%.
The combination of tobacco and marijuana is wonderful. First turned onto it by Charlie Murphy and then reignited by Dave Chappelle. There you go.
Plus whiskey.
Haha, exactly.
Perfect. Balances it out.
I mean,
I'm a firm believer in
alcohol
that.
is a drug. It's been grandfathered in.
Well, it's not just a drug. It's a drug that gets a bad rap. Because if you just have a little, it's great.
Fine.
Yeah, a little sip here and there, and your inhibitions are relaxed, and it shows your true self, and hopefully you're more joyous and friendly and happy, and everything's good. The real worry is the people that can't handle it, like the real worry about people who can't handle cars that can go 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds or anything. Have you ever considered something that, like, imagine if one day everyone has a car that's on the same, at least technological standard as one of your cars. And everyone agrees that the smart thing to do is not just to have bumpers, but to perhaps have some sort of a magnetic repellent device, some electromagnetic field around the cars that as cars come close to each other, they automatically radically decelerate because of magnets or something.
Well, I mean, our cars brake automatically.
Brake.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they see things.
Yes.
But like a physical barrier, like.
Well, the wheels work pretty well as
The
brakes.
wheels do.
Yeah, yeah. They work pretty well. decelerate at 1.1 to 1.2 Gs, that kind of thing.
Is there a concern that one day all your cars will be on the road and then there'll still be regular people with regular cars 20, 30 years from now that'll get in the mix and be the main problem?
Yeah, I think it'd be sort of like, it was a time of transition where there were horses and gasoline cars on the road at the same time. It's been pretty weird.
Oh, that'd be the weirdest.
Yeah. I mean, horses were tricky. Back in Manhattan had like 300,000 horses. You figure like if a horse lives 15 years, you got 20,000 horses dropping dead every day. Or every year, I should say. Every year is 20,000 horses if there's 300,000 horses in 15-year lifespan.
Back in the gangs in New York days. That movie?
So this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dead horses, and then you need a horse to move the horse.
Right.
And they'll probably get pretty freaked out if they have to move a dead horse.
Do you think they know what's going on?
Yeah, I
think
mean,
their
it's got to
friend's
be
tired?
like pretty weird. Like,
No, I would
why
imagine.
am I dragging this dead, horse around? And I'm a horse.
Do you
I
ever
don't like it.
stop and think about your role in civilization? Do you ever stop and think about your role in the culture? Because me, as a person who never met you until today, when I think of you, I've always thought of you as being this weirdo super inventor dude who just somehow or another keeps coming up with new shit. But there's not a lot of you out there. Like, everybody else seems to be, I mean, obviously you make a lot of money, and there's a lot of people that make a lot of money. You like that clock?
Yeah.
Pretty dope, right?
This is a great clock.
Yeah, you want one? I'll get you one.
Sure.
Okay. Done.
I like weird things like this.
Oh, this is the coolest. It's TGT Promotion. What is this? TGT Studios? TGT Studios? Yeah. Yeah. It's a gentleman who makes all this by hand. Yeah, it's really cool.
My study is filled with weird devices.
Well, get ready for another one.
All right.
I'm sending it your way.
Cool.
You want a werewolf too? I'll hook you up.
All right. I'll
Okay.
take one.
One werewolf and one clock coming up. Do you think about your role in the culture? Because me, as a person who never met you until today, I've always looked at you and like, wow, like, how does this guy just keep inventing shit? Like, how do you keep coming up with all these new devices? And what do you ever consider how like, I had a dream once that there was 1 million Teslas. Instead of like one Tesla, there was 1 million Teslas.
Okay.
Not Chesley the car, but Nikola.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And that in his day, there was 1 million people like him who were radically innovative. It was a weird dream, man. It was so strange. And I've had it more
That
than
would
once.
result in very rapid technology innovation, that's for sure.
It's one of the only dreams in my life I've had more than one time.
Okay.
Like where I've woken
Wow.
up and it's in the
Okay.
same dream. I'm in the same dream. And in this dream, it's 1940s, 1950s, but everyone is severely advanced. There's flying blimps with like LCD screens on the side of them, and everything's bizarre and strange. And it stuck with me for whatever, and obviously this is just a stupid dream, but for whatever reason, all these years that stuck with me. Like, it takes one man like Nikola Tesla to have more than 100 inventions that were patents, right? I mean, he had some
It's pretty great.
pretty fucking amazing ideas.
Yes.
But there
Definitely.
was, in his day, there was very few people like him.
Yeah, that's true.
What if there was 1 million? Like what? And then
Things would advance very quickly.
Right. But there's not 1 million Elon Musks. There's one motherfucker. Do you think about that? Or you just try to not?
I don't think you'd necessarily want to be me. Don't think.
Well,
Not
what's
sure.
the worst part
I
about
don't think
you?
people would like it that much.
Well, most people wouldn't, but they can't be you. So that's like some superhero type shit. You know, you wouldn't want to be Spider-Man. Rather just sleep tight in Gotham City. I hope he's out there.
I can't hear this guy. I just can't. They just say so much retarded shit. Truly a fucking natalist. Yeah, truly. X retarded is retarded.
Come on, baby, now. Let me look at you. Talk about.
So much noise. I wrote piano. Okay, so. God damn it. Search. Spotify. Alright. I might just leave. Here we go. Search. Piano. Trying to cool it. Yours truly. What the fuck does that mean? Did I click that? I didn't click that. So far I'm unsubscribing for Spotify. So far. Piano. Let's click it. Yours truly. Recently played. Peaceful piano. I should play Minecraft. Oh shit. That's fine. one. I don't know what you. It said without playing in Hispanic house. Can't read. Draw card. Yeah. You drew two. Why? Why did you draw two? You got one in your graveyard? Oh, yes, you do. Oh, that's bullshit. shift attack first. Tengo que estudiar she's dead, but won't even interact with people. I got the message.